I think art is important, period, because using like a medium that they like or even want to like, I think people tend to sort of like stuff their emotions and creativity away, and most people don't consider themselves artists. And I think it's important for people who don't consider themselves artists to go out and try something, painting or making pottery or whatever you want to do, write a song or make a beat. It may lead you down a creative path that you never knew existed, and it could change your life.
When I first started playing guitar, it was the biggest moment of clarity that I think I've ever had. I felt like I finally was able to show people how I felt.
I have made art all through my life. I used to get in trouble for drawing on things that weren't supposed to be drawn on, you know, as a kid does. But I mean, I always thought that if I practiced enough, I would get better, and you know, that's how it works, so.
Getting young people involved in art and creativity on a more focused level is important because it teaches them a lot of skills that they're going to use in later life. This follow through, sort of collaborating with people who you might not see eye to eye with, like true expression, how to like express yourself in a genuine way, storytelling. There's so many things, and plus it all adds up to make the world a more beautiful place. We need it, especially now.
Living in the state that we do, with the religious culture that we do, and especially in this city where the whole sort of ecosystem of Salt Lake is based around Temple Square, most of the art is a shout against religious culture, so you wouldn't expect to find the kind of art that you do find here.
A lot of things are underground, and a lot of kids just do what they feel like they should be doing without worrying about judgment. And I think that Salt Lake City has a very open air of anybody can, you know, pursue their dreams, and you know, if you work on it hard enough, everybody's going to be supportive.
SpyHop is a local Salt Lake City-based nonprofit that teaches young people how to use digital media. So everything from audio production, music, and radio. It helps young people to take the power of media and put it in their own hands.
KRCL was started kind of as a response to some of the mainstream media that was happening here in Utah. Lots of the people who started it were like civil rights activists, and they wanted kind of an outlet to be able to talk about like social movements that are going on in Salt Lake and in Utah. And so they started Listeners Community Radio.
I feel like there's always a response to the culture, again, sort of response to dominant culture here, and you know, and I think there's some really interesting things going on with like gender within the bands that are happening here, and I think that happens in Salt Lake City and it happens in Utah County as well. And I mean, I would be kind of remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that, you know, places like Velour are doing something so unique, and the bands that are there. The best shows I've ever played have been at Velour. And it has a lot to do with the culture that surrounds that too, and the kids that go to shows there and how amped they are and how supportive they are.
As a broad answer, I play music because I've always felt like there were like emotions in me or like thoughts in my head that I couldn't articulate to somebody with a worded sentence. So when I started playing music, it was like I had this new way of communication that made more sense to people. I feel like you can tell people things that you usually can't with music. But I'm part of the Salt Lake City music scene, even though I don't live in Salt Lake City, because I just think it's super fun and people are chill here.
I ended up with this summer with this entire month where I like wasn't home, I was doing all these things, and by like 2.5 weeks in, I just hated everything, and I was like, I need to go home, I need to dance, I can't do this anymore, because I felt like what was happening is whenever I'm not dancing, I feel like I'm just getting stuck in one place. And when I come back to dance, like I said, it's that sort of exploration thing. So every time I dance, I feel like I'm breaking new boundaries within myself and stretching new things. It sort of becomes an exploration of how I experience reality. And so I want to do it professionally because I can't imagine not doing it. And I know that if I'm not doing it to the highest level that I can possibly be doing it, I'm going to be frustrated and I'm not going to enjoy anything else that I do with my life. I kind of feel like there's a sort of pity as well that I feel for people who don't get to do what I do. So there's also, you know, of course, that aspect of wanting to share all of that with the rest of the world. And I feel like that's sort of a common thing among artists is, yes, you do it for yourself and to make things, but there's also, you know, once you've made something, you want to help people see what that is and how the sort of importance that it has to you. You want to be able to show them the beauty that you found in that, because I think finding that sort of beauty and the sort of intricacies in the things that you make and the things that you experience is what makes life really interesting. And if you don't have that, then it's really boring.
What makes Salt Lake City so unique is counterculture and pushback that comes from the way that our local government is. The amount of compensation and pushback from that provides for, I think, a unique flavor to Salt Lake City. And a lot of the things that I love and define me and that I cherish come from places like Portland and Seattle. But Salt Lake City has a flavor of solidarity. People who are upset with the establishment stand together in a way that's unique.